Well, welcome to Daytime Ottawa here on Rogers TV. It just dawned on me, literally like 5 seconds before we went live, I went, oh, wait a minute, it's the first day of spring. So we couldn't start the show any better than talking about spring cleaning. But before you actually get to the cleaning part, you should be doing something else. And my next guest is going to tell you exactly what you should be doing. I'm joined by Véronique Levesque. She is with Molly Maid Cleaning, an expert over there. How are you, Véronique?
I'm good. How are you?
I am great. Happy first day of spring to you.
Thank you.
Probably a busy time of year, I imagine, for Molly Maid.
Yes.
But, you know, the first thing that you said when I walked into the green room, you said, listen, Derek, we're not going to talk spring cleaning because before the actual cleaning part, you need to be doing what exactly?
Decluttering. You have to make sure you can get to those areas properly to be able to do the proper spring cleaning afterwards.
And I think we have a hard time doing that. What are some of the reasons why we have such a hard time decluttering in our homes?
I think people get attached to stuff.
Right.
They really get attached to materialistic stuff. But sometimes you don't need everything you have, or it's expired, or you might be able to repurpose it.
Right. When it comes to decluttering, I imagine it's just like spring cleaning, and whereas take little bites at a time, right?
Yes.
Because sometimes I think when we look at our entire household, we go, oh my goodness, this is overwhelming. What do you suggest? What's a good starting point?
I would start with your bedroom, your closets.
Okay.
First your closets, and then move on to the kitchen. The areas you spend the most time in, getting your clothes ready, and then in the kitchen, getting the food prepared. So those are the areas I would say you start focusing on.
Okay.
Move on to bathroom, and then toys and other areas.
Well, let's begin with that closet,
Yes.
because that means, we're going through our wardrobes, and you and I were just talking off air with our fabulous crew here. And what we don't want to see people do is putting everything into garbage bags and putting it in the garbage and it ends up in landfill. What do you suggest people do?
I would suggest for our clothes, you could either give them away, put them for free. If you really don't have, you don't need the money, you could put them on Marketplace, Value Village, those secondhand thrift store.
Right.
Thrift shopping is very popular right now.
Yeah.
So donate it to them. To be, if you're looking to repurpose some things, I'm always looking at, my mismatched socks, the one that's left behind.
How is this possible, Véronique, that it happens to all of us?
All of
us.
us.
So we have a little bag. So, in our linen closet, that's where we put our laundry basket. And beside it, we have this little bag where all the socks, the left-handed socks, we always joke, I don't know why, but they all go in there. And then eventually, you try to match them up, but it doesn't always work. So what do you do? What do you suggest?
What I would suggest is use them as a duster. So put them on, you could take your flat mop, put them on the end of your flat mop.
Oh, okay.
And that way you can reach up the cobwebs in the high corners of your ceilings, your ceiling fans as well. So this is great. So that way you can go on top of the ceiling fans with your high dusters and socks. And then since you're probably never going to find the other half, you can just throw it away and then, use next time your other mismatched socks.
I guess you could wash it too, depending on the job, right? I guess, right?
Depending
if you're doing something in the garage with oil, I wouldn't be doing that. And I guess you could put it on your hand too, right? Like if you had blinds or something like that to dust the blinds. I noticed you brought some of your favorite flyers here, and I'm wondering why. What do you got?
I think we all have a junk drawer where we put all those papers, those menus, those manuals. Every item we buy have manuals right now.
Right.
So try to go, instead of keeping them, keep either research where there's a website for your favorite restaurant, or if there's not, you can take a picture and store it in your phone. Same thing for manuals. Most of the manuals are online.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So then
I was going to ask you about that because you'd want to know, right? Some of the troubleshooting or whatever. But you're right that you can find almost everything online.
Yes, most manuals are online. So it'll come in the box, but you don't have to keep it because it's usually all online, which helps with the decluttering.
Yeah, precisely. All right, let's move on over here. What have you brought? You brought sunscreen and spices.
So these are I'm going to talk about expired items. So
Okay.
we go through our fridge, we look at all our expired food, but what about our medicine cabinet and our makeups and our sunscreen? So that also need to be looked over as far as expired items.
Okay.
So one important information is sunscreen is actually, whenever it expires, it's not recommended to throw it in the garbage.
Really? Okay.
Yes,
What do we
it's
do with
actually
it?
recommended to send it to the household waste material.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yes,
Because
so
they have certain days, right,
Chemicals,
throughout.
yeah, the chemicals that can, after the expiry date, it's not good to put it either in the drain or the garbage. Really bring it over with the household hazardous material.
Right.
For any medication, just bring it back to the pharmacy.
Okay.
And they will take that. For spices, those go expired as well. So if you,
Yeah.
take a little sniff there.
If the smell test tells you to get rid of it,
yeah,
it's
if it
time.
doesn't smell anything, just put it in the green bin.
Okay.
And then get new ones.
You've got a cell phone here, but I want to go straight to cords.
Yes.
Because I was telling you last year, I found like 2 shopping bags full of cords in my garage, and I went through them, right? I didn't just. But what can we do with cords again? And I guess that's the other question is, we probably have a bunch we're never going to use, right?
Probably. You're having new devices every few years, updating from the new technology. All those cords can go. You can bring them back to Staples or Best Buy.
Excellent. All right.
Yes.
Next up here. I think many of us have, board games are great, but we don't continue to play them, right, for the rest of, humankind sort of thing.
Yes.
What do you suggest we do with board games?
Bring them to Value Village, donate them to friends that their kids are younger, they could use them. Make sure to go through them. If you're missing pieces or if it's broken, make sure you check if you can recycle them before throwing anything out.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Recycle, reuse is the big theme, as much as reuse items possible.
Right. Let's go to the kitchen. And Mom, I'm looking at you, if you're watching right now, which you usually does. So many gadgets, right? That we have in our kitchen, and
we
again,
often have doubles of everything.
Yeah, for
so
sure.
Lots of wooden spoon. You can have a few can openers here, and you don't need 5 can openers,
Right.
or you don't need 5 wooden spoons. So I would suggest again. Donate, Marketplace, you can sell that or for free, or again, Value Village. Some people do need them, but the big theme is reuse before throwing it in the garbage and it goes into landfills.
Do you help clients with that? Like sometimes, it's easier to have somebody else come in and go, hey, listen, you don't need 2 of these and 5 of these. Is it something you help clients with at Molly Maid?
We do have some older individuals that want us to help them do some of the decluttering. We will never overstep and say, oh, you have too many of these
of course.
But yes, absolutely, we work with our customers and their needs.
And busy time for you, I imagine. After people are decluttered, they can give you a call and help them clean up.
Yes,
right?
and then we can get to those baseboard, those corners around dressers and the back of those. And,
right.
Yes.
Véronique, always a pleasure having you. Thank you so much. It's some great advice. Again, the first thing you need to think about is decluttering. And of course, don't throw it out right away. See if somebody, perhaps it's of value to someone, or of course, donate it to a fantastic charity. We'll be back right after this.